And good evening tonight from Houston as we begin another week together and as a community says goodbye to a native son. George Floyd, who has become the face of a movement for justice and change in this country. Tonight here we talk with so many parents who brought children, to nurses who are also working in the middle of this pandemic, and still they thought it was important they come here today. And tonight, as we come on the new case, the new video released just a short time ago, a knee to the neck, and now an officer charged with manslaughter. George Floyd's casket escorted into the Fountain of Praise Church here in Houston today. Mourners passing by in single file, socially distancing. Among them, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, Houston's Mayor Sylvester Turner, the police chief and members of the force, and many, many families, parents with small children, diverse ages, diverse backgrounds, waiting outside in the searing heat well into the 90s here. And former Vice President Joe Biden here in Houston to pay his respects to the image of him with George Floyd's little girl. All of this amid new developments as we come on the air. In Minneapolis, former police officer Derek Chauvin appearing before a judge to face murder charges. And now that new case I mentioned from New Mexico, an officer with his knee to a man's neck. Tonight, that officer has now been charged in his death. ABC's Alex Perez leads us off from Minneapolis.
Tonight, fired Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin facing murder charges, making his first appearance in court via video in an orange jumpsuit and blue face mask. The prosecutor laying out the second-degree murder case against Chauvin, saying he placed his knee on Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes as he went limp. The judge setting bail at $1.25 million. The three other officers, Toe Tao, J. Alexander King, and Thomas Lane, all charged with aiding and abetting Chauvin. Tonight, Lane's lawyer placing the blame on Chauvin, the veteran officer, saying Lane had only been on the job 4 days.
Was he afraid of Chauvin, your client?
He relied on his 20-year experienced officer, and that's why he didn't do anything. He thought that this man knew what he was doing. My client did exactly what he was supposed to do. Follow the experienced officer's advice.
Get on the ground!
Across the country, more officers accused of excessive force facing charges. In New Mexico today, a white police officer charged with involuntary manslaughter after putting his knee on the neck of a Hispanic man back in February. Prosecutors say it led to his death. In Fairfax, Virginia, a white officer arrested for assault after body camera video showed him using a stun gun on an unarmed black man, putting his knees on the man's back, the man yelling, "I can't breathe." All the officers involved now placed on administrative leave. Now, growing calls to defund or outright abolish police departments. Defunding meaning diverting some funds from police to other social programs. The controversial issue coming to a boiling point in Minneapolis, the city's mayor confronted by protesters at the site of Floyd's killing.
I know there needs to be deep-seated structural reform in terms of how the department operates. The systemically racist system needs to be revamped.
But the crowd pressing him for more answers.
We don't want no more police. Is that clear? We don't want people with guns toting around in our community, shooting us down. It is a yes or a no. Will you defund the Minneapolis Police Department?
I do not support the full abolition of police.
The Minneapolis City Council announcing it intends to dismantle the police department, calling it beyond reform. Just moments ago, the mayor announcing a new coalition to provide more economic inclusion for people of color to help the city move forward.
George Floyd moved to Minneapolis for a fresh start. In honoring his memory and generations of black people who have been victimized before him, we will rebuild as a stronger, more equitable, and more inclusive city.
Other cities also announcing plans to partially defund the police. New York City shifting NYPD funds to youth programs. LA cutting $150 million from its police budget.
And Alex Perez joins us again tonight from Minneapolis. And Alex, we know all 4 officers charged in Floyd's death remain behind bars tonight.
Yeah, David, they're all in custody. Chauvin faces up to 75 years behind bars, and those 3 other officers could face up to 50 years in prison.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.